Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. Stay humble, thirsty, and strong. And I have a really special guest here today, a first time guest. You know, when you're in this industry and you go anywhere public, the chances of you flocking to another industry pro, I think, are pretty high. You kind of know your people. And
We
this
got pretty lucky, didn't we?
Yes, and this guest happened to be sitting by me on a flight to my first time ever going to Premiere Orlando a couple years ago. It was my first time
Yep.
seeing Naha, and happens to be a Wisco girl
Yeah.
herself. So I have Kelley Martell here. Let me tell you about her. She has been in the industry for 22 years. She specializes in vivid color and extensions, bringing creativity and expertise to every client. Her journey began in New York. She took her then took her to California to live with her sister, who was in the Marine Corps in San Diego, and led her to Hartford, Wisconsin, where she now resides, which is around Milwaukee area. She owns a 5-chair salon, a boutique, and a cocktail lounge. Mixology in hair and in the lounge setting allows her continuous creativity. She's married with 2 children, Mav and Athena, who are her greatest inspirations. She always wanted to teach because she's excited to get other stylists excited about their craft. She can't wait to share her knowledge and skills with others in the industry. She has a heart of gold. You're going to see why. Without further ado, help me welcome Kelley Martell. Welcome to Beyond the Technique.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. First off, it is just like us to flock to each other on the flight, finding out, "Oh, you're a hairstylist? No way, I'm in the industry." And you're just a yes girl. Like, the minute I sat by you, you are the type of woman who, if there's an opportunity, you're like, "Yes, why not? There what could I
Let's go, let's do
there's
it.
no losing here. I only have to gain, and if I didn't like it, I won't do it again."
Mhm.
Immediately, I had a ton of respect for you in that, but I wanna go back to the beginning for you. It sounds like you didn't even grow up in Wisconsin, so tell me about your beginnings and how did you get into cosmetology from the beginning?
So I did grow up here. I was on the north side of Milwaukee for like the first 10 years of my life, and then I lived in Germantown, which is, like 15 minutes north. And I basically attended school in Germantown up until like the middle of 10th grade. And in New York, they have the BOSI's program, which I don't know how many more states have it, but basically they put you through your trade school when you're still in high school. And I basically was having the conversation with my parents, like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, well, I really want to do hair. And I had always been going to the salon with my mom. I was sweeping up hair off the floor at her hairdressers, watching her do shampoos, like, and I always loved watching her work. And so I ended up um, going to Bosie's for 2 years. I lived in New York from, like, the age of 15 to 22, and I graduated from high school at 17, got licensed at 17, started working in the Hamptons, celebrities, got some fun stories there. But it was very hard coming from Wisconsin and going to New York because, like, everyone's here so nice, right? And then in New York, everyone's not that great, especially in the Hamptons. It's just, there was somebody that told me it's like you can tell the difference between old money and new money. Old money's always had it, so they're nice, they're humble, they'll hold the door open. New money, they
Mhm.
think they're better than everybody else. So I was scared as a new stylist. Um, I had a great first boss. Her name was Lori, and she was amazing. And um, my journey from there kind of moved from a couple of different salons, but just getting more experience. I didn't really know a whole lot about a whole lot. You just your basics from beauty school, and that's really it. But she taught me a lot, and my sister was coming back from deployment and didn't really have a good. I mean, there's not really ever a good deployment, but I ended up moving to California to be with her. And around the same time, our mom passed away.
Mm.
So basically, I just wanted to like be by my sister. We needed each other. Um, I started doing hair out there as well, and just basically building on both sides, like both coasts, and just seeing how everybody does everything so differently. And obviously, like on the West Coast, like they are light years ahead of what the Midwest is doing, right? So it's like when the ombre came out and all that kind of fun stuff. Um, but we were out there, I was out there for a couple of years, and then my sister and I moved back here in 2012. I started at a salon right away, and then I started renting my chair like a year and a half after. Um, I then ended up moving into a suite in West Bend, and I am on, God, what year is it? I'm on year 12 of Something Fierce being a business. So this is my first open concept salon that I've had for 2 years now. I liked the studio setting and maybe having another chair, but I'm always double booked, so, like, I always like having the extra chair and, or people, coming in to just hang out, and I really wanted an open concept salon so that when I teach, there's plenty of space, and, I like being around other stylists. I like being, like, inspired by other people. There's a different method to everyone's madness, so, like, I like watching other people work. I don't see anybody else as a threat to me in my business. Like, I see it as a learning curve of maybe they do something that I do differently, and maybe they have a better technique, maybe it's something that's a little bit more efficient. And, like, I love learning from other stylists, and I love teaching other stylists, like, my little niches, like, little things that I came across over 22 years of being like, "Oh my god, when I learned this, it was a game changer," you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, so now I'm, teaching for dream catchers and, coming on as an indie educator for Danger Jones, and we're gonna be doing a crossover class actually in New Orleans on August 24th. So it'll be our first crossover class. I'm really excited about that, teaching with AJ Gibran. He's amazing. Um, so yeah, I'm teaching here and there. I didn't get to do a whole lot this summer because I had my heart surgery, but I did get to teach a couple of classes and it was awesome. Doing all the hair shows was awesome. Having a model walk premiere was really cool, really, really cool. Um, yeah, it's just kind of crazy. Like you kind of have a plan for how you want like your professional life to go on top of just doing hair. And then all these things just start happening. And I was like, I thought I had like a couple more years before this was gonna happen. you know?
Kelly, you are so humble, and that's something that lands so much with me because even after 22 years and you have a salon and you have a cocktail lounge and you work for dream catchers and with Danger Jones and you're doing all these things, the fact that you are like so open-minded to what anybody, no matter who they are, where they come from, what they look like, what their vibe is, like you could learn from them. You talked about having humble beginnings even in this industry. Like what was accessible now wasn't that way at the beginning. Talk about just what you're seeing the differences are between then and now, and why owners really may need to just take a step back and even humble themselves potentially.
Well, like, the access that people have in the industry now, just starting off, is light years ahead of what we ever had access to. And we are our own community. Like, ultimately, there's salon owners that are like, I've been doing this a million years. It's like, good for you. That doesn't make you better than someone that's coming in off of beauty school because they've been watching educators, really awesome stylists on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Like, it's awesome that stylists that are, my age or older even are taking the time to do free education. Like Emily Chen does it all the time. And she's an amazing platform artist. And I basically just say like, "Hey, like we are our own community. So if you are a salon owner that thinks that someone coming in off the street is like, "Oh, well, you need to start at the bottom because that's where we all started." Like they're doing hair better than some of the stylists that you've had for years. So I don't think it's fair to put people at that level. And I always had like a weird, not that I had like a weird feeling about salons that do this. Like I get it. Like you want your tiers of stylists that are, a little bit more seasoned or whatever. But to be like, "Oh, you have a stage 1 stylist, your haircut's 20 bucks, but if you get a master stylist, it's 180 bucks." And I'm like, what are they doing differently and why aren't they showing the stage 1 stylist how to be like them, like, don't you want them all to be master stylists? Like, I would never wanna categorize my staff in such a way that it almost seems like it's undermining, you know?
I'm curious, how do you approach that? So you bring in new team members, like how do you go about giving them maybe like a title, or is it more like, "Hey, I'm a hairstylist here and here's what I do for services and what I charge for my services."
Yeah, that's it. I don't have them say like, "Oh, I just started doing hair 6 months ago." It's like, I don't care for you to say that. Like, what are you passionate about? What things do you feel like you need to work on? Like, I do teach, so if I'm doing something that they're like, "I don't feel confident with weft installs." "All right, cool. Well, I'm doing one today at 5 o'clock. You need to be here to watch me do it." And they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Look and learn." But I'm very much a see it, touch it, feel it person. Like, I can watch YouTube videos all day long, but, like, I need to actually touch a head of hair. I need to actually feel the motions with my fingers of what I'm doing. Like, I need the mechanics of it to, like, really get it. And, there's some people that learn just from watching. There's people that learn that need the hands-on. And I like being hands-on. So, whenever I do have new staff come in, it's like, "All right, well, let's talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, and how we can round you out as a stylist." Because ultimately, I don't want someone to come in and be like, "Oh, I don't want them to do my hair because they've been doing hair for 5 minutes." Like, if they're learning from me, they're doing what I'm doing. So, at least if I need to step away, like I've had to step away, I have staff that can literally do what I do, and I don't have to worry about whether or not they're gonna do it the right way.
I think that's awesome, and I appreciate you sharing that because I think that it's like this pressure when owners see what cool or better or elite salons are doing, and then they wanna do it too, and I will say with you, I'm just gonna be, like, very blunt, you've never given a shit what anybody else is doing necessarily, like, you respect differences, and I like that, and then yet you have just, like, this, "Hey, we're all in this together" mentality.
Like,
So
the only person I'm competing with is me yesterday, like, how can I be a better version of myself today? Like, because we all don't have good days, and it's okay to have bad days, but you know what the good thing about bad days is you don't have to live them ever again. Because now today's a new day. That's something I've literally had to tell myself instead of because, like, I have anxiety, I have imposter syndrome, like, my sister, like, could basically hit me for all the times I was like, "Oh, look, Danger Jones recognized me. Oh, look, they're commenting on my stuff." She goes, "You're an idiot. That's really awesome. Like, you don't have to be humble about this. Like, you work for this. You work hard for Dreamcatchers to bring you on as an educator, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just like, I know, but I feel like there's still more that I can do for the community that it's not like, "I've made it." Like, no, I haven't. And to be honest, until I'm wiping my ass with $100 bills, I have not made it. Not that I would do that anyway, but, like, I just wanna see what else I can do for the community, and I do wanna be a better version of myself, and I think every salon owner should know, like, you aren't the best version of yourself every single day unless you are growing and evolving and trying to be something different because the times are changing, like, it's great if you can sit back and not really have to interact with your staff, but, like, I could never be that because, like, I'm such a people person and I love being inspired by other people, like, I don't think I could ever sit back, you know?
well, and even when you go and have heart surgery, you're not down and out for long. This is wild. Tell us a bit, if you don't mind, opening up a little bit just about some of your journey with your heart and health, and yet you still are like flying to events, showing up. I mean, it's just unbelievably inspiring.
Did you know over 60% of first time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour. and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.
So I have persistent AFib. It's actually what ended up taking my mom's life. She died 20 years ago, and they just didn't have the technology now that they did, or back then that they do now. I got really bad AFib after having my son, and ended up having one ablation. Then I ended up having cervical cancer at the same time, and then ended up having a LEAP procedure for that, and then I was all free and clear. Got the okay to have Athena, and my AFib got really bad. I don't know if it was, like, just the stress of, 2 pregnancies and the cervical cancer, stress of life over the course of, like, 3 years. But I ended up having to have a second ablation, and it was okay, but these techniques it was only like a 50 to 60% chance that it was gonna work, and I'm like, "Well, if I'm going in AFib less, that's fine," like, because ultimately I just feel like my heart is fluttering all the time, like I'm running a marathon. My sleep quality was shit, like, I did not feel good or rested. So yeah, for the last 6 years, I've had persistent AFib. I've been in AFib for 90% of the time. Um, I had a circuit flutter from November until April, so basically my heart just never went into sinus rhythm, so I basically just didn't sleep really. Um, but this technique that my cardiologist did, he actually was the one that created this pulse field ablation. Um, it allows them to get into my heart arthroscopically and get close to everything that where all the flutters are without causing damage around other organs. So the other 2 techniques were either heating up or cooling down to freeze it and burn it and kill it. This technique was using electronic or electromagnetic pulses to ablate the flutters, and they got rid of 8 flutters in my heart. Um, this was on June 23rd, so a month ago. Um, but I felt different right away. Like, I woke up and I was like, "I don't feel my heart beating." And they're like, "You're not supposed to." Like, I would literally feel every beat of my heart all day long, all night long. Like, I could tell when I was in AFib. I'd have to lay down, drink ice cold water, like, try to kick my heart into sinus rhythm. So now I'm on, like, 4 different meds, at least for the time being until I have another follow-up next month. Um But yeah, I feel a lot better. My energy levels better. My sleep quality is better. I feel like I can keep up with my kids and my day better. I'm not like as exhausted, but it was a special kind of hell because I'd be so exhausted and I still couldn't sleep. So now I'm happy that I'm like back to normal. I mean, I could have a quarter of a soda and my heart would kick into AFib. I'd get hot, I'd go into AFib. Like it was just anything would literally put me in AFib, and it was just like, ugh.
That is so scary and unimaginable.
Yeah,
Unimaginable to even live like this, and I just wanna say I'm so thankful you're on the other side of, like, feeling how good you feel, and after
yeah.
only this short amount of time, just to be getting back after it and having this zest for Kelly, you have an amazing zest for life. You are a very, very strong person. Do you think that is something that you also notice just in people in this industry, and what do you think makes that so? Like, why?
I think this is like a eat or be eaten industry. Like at some point in time, I had to persevere and put self doubt aside and be like, I can do this. And I feel like it really depends on your environment. I had not so nice bosses. Um, that would basically use, go in the back and you fold towels because you pissed me off today, and everybody else can watch me do this technique. And I'm like, well, that's messed up, but like they would use it as punishment. And I'm like, man, if I ever get to a point where I'm a salon owner, I would never do that. And I feel like I don't know, like, this is very much like you have to be in it or you're not gonna survive. Like, there's a statistic, like, so many people drop out of doing hair after 3 years because they don't give it a chance.
Mm.
And I feel like that statistic now has to change to even more time, or, like, I'd probably say even more time, because if you don't have the want to sit there and build your business and do what it takes, like, you're not gonna succeed. Like, people aren't just gonna line up to sit in your chair. Like, what are you doing to land that business? And I feel like because you have to be so hungry and literally motivated to get these clients in your chair to make money, like, this isn't a sit back and get paid kind of job. So you're only gonna be as successful as you put into it. Like, if you're not putting that effort in, like, it's just not gonna work out.
I love it. And I think that you're spot on that if you're not in it, it's not survivable. For the hairstyle and even owners who are like, hairstylists, I want you to listen to this. What would be your message to up and coming hairstylists who they're coming out the gate with more talent and accessibility to getting better with all the resources we have than ever
Mhm.
before, but yet they kind of lose hope or just exit quicker than we were when we didn't have all that. We had to grind, 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 grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What would you
Yeah.
want the message to be to them?
I mean, all I would say is take as many classes as you can because, like, your certifications back up your reputation. Like, you are who you are because of the effort that you put into learning and, really mastering your craft. That, there's a lot of people that get down on themselves that I'm like, Jesus, like, when did we all get imposter syndrome? That we're like, oh, well, this is okay, but it could be better. Meanwhile, it's like blowing shit out of the water, and everyone's like, oh my God, that's so amazing. You're like, oh, okay. You know, I feel like anybody that's coming into the industry now should just keep grinding. Like, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off a lot sooner than it did for our generation. That's for damn sure. Um, and not to be discouraged by people that, are stuck in their ways, essentially. Um, if you don't evolve, like, you're gonna be left behind. I mean, that's just evolution. And that goes for everything. Like, if you don't get with the times, you're gonna be left behind. And all these stylists that are starting out, like, I'm excited for them. Like, it's amazing that they can come out and it's not like, "Oh, we're learning, um, a color melt." It's like, now you're learning a color melt on a vivid with rainbows. Like, what? That's the first thing you're doing? Like, that's crazy. But it's something that's gonna make them a lot of money. Like, they're not having to do $20 haircuts anymore. They can come out if they know how to cut hair, they can charge whatever they want. They can charge their worth because they know what they're doing, So the opportunity for them to make money a lot sooner, to build their business faster, like, my friend AJ is literally opening up a bigger salon, and he just turned 30.
Wow.
Like, and he's got a staff of, like, 6 or 7. Like, who's gonna tell him, like, "You're too young to be doing this. You didn't put your dues in." Like, it's crazy to me that anybody that's even an owner that's older would ever wanna look down on somebody that's making moves like that
Yep.
and undermine them at all. Like, I'm like, "Oh, shit, man, that's awesome. Like, I'm really excited for you," like, that's the salon that I'm going to teach at next month, and I think that all the young stylists should just be ready to learn all the things and say yes to all the classes, do all the free education. There's so many people that do free education right now. And you can literally look up free education for hairstylists on Instagram, and it'll literally bring you to so many different places. And like West Does Hair is doing a class with Cosmoprof, and that's a free cutting class. There's so much free education out there, and it's not like one stylist. I'm like, what did we all look up to Sam Vila? Like growing up, and he's an amazing stylist. He was very well versed as a stylist, but I love seeing the dynamic of different stylists teaching things their own way because it's gonna stick with how you talk and how you show things in different ways, and that's what makes me feel like I can learn something as an educator.
And I think what you're saying that you haven't actually said that I'm going to pull out is that you would never kind of get that inspiration if you didn't put yourself out there. So to younger, newer, upper coming, like put yourself in these environments, take the free class, absorb the education, apply it, try it. And you really are the type of woman who is like, I'll try it. I'll try anything.
Yeah. Pretty much, at least if I can try it and I'm like, that didn't work out, like, it's fine. Like, I actually did end up closing my bar, last month because I was like, "You know what? Like, I need to focus on educating, teaching my kids." Like, I love my lounge, but right now is not the right time for it. But the idea for Mavericks is still there, so I will end up opening another location eventually. But, taking a step back, like, it's never bad to take a step back, regroup, and formulate a new plan. Like, I pivot with everything. Like, nothing ever gets me down. I don't setbacks are setbacks are but it doesn't hold you back forever. It's just it makes you take a step back and learn what you need to do to pivot to make the next 3 to 6 months better. So I try to do, like, what do I want for the next 3 months? What do I want for the next 6 months? What do I want for the next year? And then I try to see goal-wise, like, what's attainable. And now that my heart's not an issue, time isn't an issue, now I can actually, like, focus on those things,
Oh,
and all that will come to fruition.
I really, really have a heart for you. No pun intended. I actually didn't expect. No, but for real, like you're a really, really amazing person. It almost makes me emotional. Like you have the kind of heart of this industry that we need.
Mhm.
You're humble, you're always thirsty to get after it, and you are very strong. Kelly, before
Thank
we
you.
wrap, I would want to know for owners listening today and leaders, what would be some final words of encouragement that you would want to share with them today?
Well, they all got to where they're at because they have a love for the industry, and that's amazing, but I feel like more owners should dive in more to their staff, their community, like, get more involved, be more of a face, be present with them. I feel like you can't stop learning. This industry is ever evolving, and I think that's what I love the most about it, is that you're never gonna get to a point and be like, "I know everything I need to know." It's like, "Alright, well, maybe, but maybe not." Like, would you be open to learning something new? If it meant that you're gonna be a better leader, a better stylist, would you be open to it? And most people should say yes.
Well, I love that. And I hope that more people do say yes. They keep themselves humble, thirsty, strong, and just give it a try and build that community. So I just appreciate you being here to share your story. And I know that you are just going to keep on doing more and more and more and just have an amazing life filled with love. You're an awesome mom and a friend. And I see that in all of everything you do. So I just thank you, Kelly, for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Katie. I really appreciate it.
And thank you all for joining us here week after week. If you love this platform, please take a moment, leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening so that more people like you will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.